In today's fast-paced world, meeting all the demands of life can be a challenge. Who has time to deal with cold showers or laundry that's not as clean as it should be? Who has time to deal with appliances that can't keep up? If you're just too busy to be hampered by an obsolete, inefficient, or leaking water heater, you need a Marathon, a water heater designed for the human race. The most advanced water heating appliance on the market today. The Marathon product is designed and built by Water Heater Innovations Incorporated. Our modern factory is near St. Paul, Minnesota. Water Heater Innovations is a subsidiary of Rheem Manufacturing, one of the largest water heater companies in North America. The Marathon began with a simple question: how can we make a better water heater? To answer the question, we studied the design, materials, and processes used in making water heaters, and the demanding applications in which they are installed. Our answer to the question is to make a water heating appliance that has a longer life than any other water heater, to make it more efficient, lighter in weight, easier to install, and more durable. Our answer to the question, how can we make a better water heater, is Marathon. Marathon water heaters are manufactured in a range of sizes. We offer 15 and 20-gallon models for point-of-use applications, such as restrooms and office buildings, cabins or cottages, 30 and 40-gallon models for apartments, condos, and mobile homes. 50-gallon models are great for most single-family homes. 50-gallon short models for installation in crawl spaces and attics. And larger 75, 85, and 105-gallon models, which are increasingly popular for new homes, utility load management and thermal storage programs, and for agricultural and light commercial applications. Features of the Marathon you will readily notice are the unique shape, the factory-installed temperature and pressure relief valve, and the brass swivel unions at the top of the heater, which facilitate the quick and easy connection of the water heater to the plumbing lines. At each point where penetrations are made in the exterior jacket for plumbing connections, a molded lip and complementary rubber grommet prevent condensation and the water from overhead plumbing leaks from running down into the tank insulation. All Marathon heaters come with a factory-installed vacuum valve to compensate for a loss of pressure in the plumbing system. The easy-to-access wiring junction box and the protective drain valve enclosure are features simply not found on other heaters. But to really see what makes the Marathon perform, let's take a look inside. The heart of the Marathon water heater is our seamless blow-molded tank. Construction of the tank begins with small beads of polybutene, a durable plastic material which withstands the rigors of temperature, pressure, and the solvent nature of the water. The tank is formed in a computer-controlled molding machine. While the mold is open, the operator inserts side port assemblies into the mold. These assemblies contain the brass side ports, which are designed to firmly lock into the tank and enable us to install heating elements into the side wall of the tank. The molding process begins when heated plastic is extruded into the mold. As the mold closes, air is injected inside the heated extrusion, forcing the plastic to take the shape of the mold. Chilled water running through the tubing in the back of the mold helps cool the newly molded tank. When the tank exits the mold, it is positioned on a work table. The excess material, called flashing, is removed from both ends of the tank, and the tank is trimmed. After the flashing cools, it will be chipped into small pieces and recycled, virtually eliminating waste from the molding process. Because the molded tank is the heart of the product, this first step is very critical. The molded tank is carefully inspected to ensure its integrity. In the next step, a metal dome plate is installed on the top of the tank. The metal dome reinforces the tank because the fiberglass strands cannot be wrapped on the radius ends of the tank. At this stage, the brass union connections are installed on the stub tubes at the top of the tank. A copper band is placed around the stub and the copper insert is slid into the stub tube. Later, when the copper band is crimped around the outside, the plastic material flows between the ribs of the copper insert and each rib becomes a sealing point. The tanks are stored in special racks, allowing the polybutene to adjust to its final dimension. When the molded tanks are ready to begin the filament winding process, a dome plate is installed at the bottom of the tank. Next, the union connections at the top of the tank are crimped in place. The tank is then pressurized to help it maintain its shape as the layers of fiberglass are added. The molded polybutene tanks are wound with multiple layers of fiberglass on computer-controlled machines. As the tank rotates on spindles, the glass strands are drawn through a reservoir containing plastic resin, which hardens and holds the fiberglass strands in place. The fiberglass tank that is formed around the molded inner tank acts as a pressure vessel. When installed, the Marathon plastic tank will flex with the changes in pressure within the plumbing system and have greater durability than a conventional rigid steel tank. The layers of fiberglass you see being wound onto the Marathon tank make it the strongest in the water heater industry. After the tanks are wound, they are hung vertically and moved slowly through an oven. The oven acts as an incubator, providing a constant warm environment in which the resin can harden and cure. When the tanks are removed from the oven, they are ready to move onto the assembly line. In the first step of the assembly process, the tanks are moved onto the conveyor. Using the hydraulic crimping process, a drain tube is connected to the bottom of the tank, which will later receive the drain valve. The tanks are then moved into position to have the side ports drilled. This drilling process removes fiberglass, which was wound over the side port area, and also the polybutene, which was molded against the side port when the tank was formed. After the side ports have been cleared and inspected, the second stage of the side port assembly is secured through a high-pressure swaging process. The tanks then move into position to have electrical control boxes installed. You will note we will use conduit between the control boxes, providing an easy and convenient way to wire in utility controls later if the heater is enrolled in a utility load control program. The control boxes are secured in place, the thermostat sensing plates are mounted, and the elements are installed. At this stage, the tank is now ready to assemble into a water heater. But before we do that, we want to make sure the tank will not leak. Every Marathon tank is fully leak tested at this station. Tanks are filled with a mixture of air and helium and pressurized. We then use helium detecting machines to ensure that each tank is free from leaks and that it will provide its future owners years of reliable service. This is a precise method of testing because of the small size of helium molecules. With this test, we can identify a potential problem that we could not detect by testing with water alone. To ensure we are building the most durable tanks in the industry, we systematically test tanks on a cycle rack, a special test station our engineers have designed. When tested on the rack, the tanks are operated with water at 180 degrees, and pressures are varied from 0 to 150 psi for over 100,000 cycles. This testing simulates the most extreme conditions a water heater might see. Having tested conventional water heaters on our cycle rack and compared the test results with those we achieve with our Marathon heaters, we are confident our tanks will not only resist corrosion much better than steel tanks, they are 4 times more durable than the steel tanks used in conventional water heaters. After we have confirmed the quality of the tanks we have just built, the tanks of that production run are ready to be inserted in their covers and insulated. But before we see that process, we need to go back to the blow molding department. High-density polyethylene is used to form the exterior cover of Marathon heaters. Polyethylene is used because it can't rust, and it withstands the bumps that easily damage conventional water heaters, keeping the Marathon looking great for years. The molding process is identical to that used to form the Marathon tank. The cover or jacket of the water heater is made when the extruded plastic is formed against the inside of the jacket mold. Here again, when the parts exit the mold, they are trimmed of flashing and inspected. You will note the jacket and base are molded as one piece and then cut apart on a unique routing fixture. The jackets and bases are then delivered to the assembly line. Back on the line, the tanks are inserted in the molded jackets and tipped into an inverted position, where the bases are snapped in place. The heater assembly is now moved into the foaming station to have the insulation injected in the cavity between the tank and the jacket. The heaters are turned upside down to better position the foam insulation and to provide vent holes for the foaming process. Our precise foam insulating process gives Marathon top energy efficiency performance. Unlike earlier foam insulation, the insulation in a Marathon water heater contains no ozone-depleting chemical, no CFCs or HCFCs. The insulation in a Marathon water heater is trademarked Envirofoam. As heaters move farther down the line, the electrical control boxes are routed out and cleared. The finished electrical enclosures are neat and free of sharp edges that could cut fingers during installation or service. The heaters are now ready to have the remaining wiring and controls installed. Once this has been completed, all electrical components are tested, and the heaters receive their efficiency and rating labels, owner's manuals and installation instructions. The completed water heaters are then ready to be placed in cartons. As part of our ongoing effort to build the very best product, we systematically audit completed water heaters. And that's the reason we give our water heaters a true Marathon warranty. When Marathon heaters are purchased and installed in a single-family home, the tanks are warranted not to leak for as long as the person owns their home. If they should sell their home, the tank warranty converts to a straight 15 years from the original date of the installation. When Marathon heaters are installed in commercial applications, such as office buildings, rental property, or agricultural applications, the tanks carry a 10-year warranty. Now that you've seen how our water heaters are made, let's review the Marathon features. Because the polybutene tanks cannot rust or corrode, Marathon is the first choice for people who have experienced short tank life with conventional heaters. Because they do not require an anode rod, Marathon heaters are ideal for installations where the local water reacts with anode rods in steel heaters producing rotten egg odors. With all Marathon heaters being UL certified and listed to meet the requirements of NSF5 of the National Sanitary Foundation, they are approved for use in food service. Because Marathon heaters are insulated with our comprehensive trademarked Envirofoam insulation, they have top energy efficiency ratings, which translate into lower cost of operation, and we have been making them free of ozone-depleting chemicals long before regulations required us to do it. Because the Marathon plastic jacket resists dents, scratches, and corrosion, the heaters arrive at the point of installation in good condition and maintain their appearance and integrity, even in humid environments and damp agricultural applications. And because the modern materials used to construct the Marathon are lighter in weight, Marathon heaters are easier to transport and install. And one more thing, our product philosophy. At Marathon, we don't make 6-year water heaters, or even 10-year water heaters. We don't make a basic model and then sell upgraded warranties. We don't think it's good business to make water heaters that only last a few years so you have to buy another and another. We believe you should only have to buy one water heater, and because it will be the only one you buy, it should be as technologically advanced as we can make it. We look at it as a long-term relationship, even if you only buy one. So, now that you know the inside story, isn't it clear? When it comes to design and durability, when it comes to endurance and efficiency, Marathon water heaters truly are long-distance performers.